Unmasking deceit. The moment I discovered my wife's betrayal and the reckoning that followed, haunting tales of infidelity. 7 months ago, I uncovered the devastating truth. Emily was entangled in an affair with a middle-aged man. In an instant, 8 years of my life slipped away, lost and irretrievably cast aside. In that moment, I was 31, and she was 33. Her business associate, as I'll refer to him, was on the brink of 50. It was a twist of fate that led me to uncover the affair. A mere coincidence of being in the right place at the right time. After being away on a business trip, I was meant to return the following day. However, as fate would have it, everything concluded sooner than expected. A surge of excitement coursed through me as I made the impulsive decision to drive home. Eager to surprise her, I thought it would be more exciting to just arrive unannounced, rather than calling ahead. As I drove, a sinking feeling gripped me when I glanced at the fuel gauge. It was perilously low. With urgency coursing through my veins, I veered off at the next exit, desperate to find a gas station before it was too late. The exit loomed just 12 miles away from my home, a mere whisper of distance that felt charged with anticipation. With the tank finally full, I returned to the road. Yet the path to the highway dragged on, each moment stretching into an eternity. Every intersection loomed with either a stop sign or a glaring traffic light, while the vehicles inched forward, caught in a relentless crawl. As I lingered at the four-way stop, anticipation coursing through me, my gaze was drawn to a side street, shrouded in uncertainty. In that moment, my heart raced as I caught sight of it, Emily's car. Emerging from the shadows, veering off in the very direction I was bound for. For a fleeting moment, doubt crept in, whispering that my eyes might be deceiving me. But there it was, unmistakably her car, a jarring reminder of what I had hoped to forget. A tight knot formed in my stomach. What on earth is she doing here? Just a few hours ago, we had exchanged words, and yet she had said nothing about being in this place. A sense of unease settled in the air. I snatched my phone and dialed her number, my heart racing with anticipation. It rang 4 times, each chime echoing in the silence, before she finally picked up. When she spoke, her voice was a frantic whisper, as if she had just sprinted through a grueling race. "Hey," she said, her voice trembling with an unsettling uncertainty. "What are you doing right now?" I inquired, struggling to maintain a steady tone. "Oh," she paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes for the briefest moment. "Just as I was about to reach out to you." A wave of uncertainty washed over me. A deep frown creased my brow. "Where are you right now?" "I exist. Less than text. I just had to run a quick errand," she said, her voice trembling slightly, revealing an unsettling undercurrent. Why must it be this way? I choked back the growing dread that clawed at my insides. "Our meetings wrapped up sooner than expected," I revealed. "I'm making my way home," each moment heavy with anticipation. Her voice brimmed with joy at the news of my return, and she quickly inquired about my arrival time, suggesting she was already waiting at the house. Anticipation hanging thick in the air. I promised her I'd arrive in just 15 minutes. As we spoke, the distant sounds of the road echoed around her, revealing that she was behind the wheel, navigating through the chaos of the world outside. "Where are you going?" I inquired with a seemingly nonchalant demeanor. She hesitated, the silence stretching uncomfortably before her response broke through. "Oh, so you're just heading to the store, are you?" The uncertainty lacing her voice sent a jolt of unease through me, twisting my stomach in knots. "Which one will it be?" She spoke in a hurried whisper. "The one closest to our house." That was a dishonestical fabrication. Her car loomed just a few hundred yards ahead, merging onto the highway, a heartbeat away from slipping into the unknown. She couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that pulled her further from home, questioning why she had ventured so far for something as trivial as a trip to the nearby store. In that fleeting instant, a realization struck me with undeniable force. She was either betraying my trust or entangled in something deeply sinister. If not, what could possibly drive her to deceive? I contemplated confronting her right then and there, but ultimately, I chose to feign compliance. If she was going to weave a web of lies, I was determined to uncover the depths of her dishonesty. Great. I was dishonest, my voice steady yet laced with an undercurrent of anticipation. I'll be there, and then we can escape for dinner together. A heavy silence hung in the air before she finally spoke. Her voice tinged with an unsettling eagerness. That sounds absolutely thrilling. A sly smile crept across my face. She was utterly unprepared for that moment. Then, with a voice barely above a whisper, I added, I just passed the rest area. The rest area loomed ominously just behind her. In that fleeting moment, silence reigned supreme. In an instant, she slammed on the gas, the car lurching forward with a fierce urgency. In mere seconds, she was racing past 90 miles an hour, hurtling down the highway with a ferocity that felt almost otherworldly. I exhaled sharply, my fingers tightening around the wheel. Heart racing. Oh no, she realizes I'm onto her. She was running, her heart racing, the thought echoing in her mind, I almost got caught. As I drove into the store parking lot, my heart raced. She was already there, poised beside her car, an air of anticipation hanging between us. As I parked, she approached with a deliberate grace, her fingers deftly adjusting her clothes, her gaze flickering to the compact mirror as she scrutinized her hair and makeup. Each movement charged with an unspoken tension. She attempted to appear nonchalant, yet the strain in her shoulders betrayed her inner turmoil. Within the confines of the store, she pivoted toward me, her gaze intense and charged with unspoken words. I urgently need to find a restroom. I nodded, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily in the air. I feel the same way. Her face twitched ever so slightly, yet she masked it with a smile that barely concealed the turmoil within. I wrapped up in mere moments, my heart racing as I stepped outside, anticipation coursing through me as I waited for her. 5 agonizing minutes dragged on. Then 10. Then, it was 15. Yet, she remained hidden, shrouded in silence. As she stepped out of the restroom, a sly grin crept across my face. I was just about to send in a search party for you, I remarked, the tension hanging thick in the air. She let out a soft laugh, dismissing my comment with a wave of her hand. But the air between us crackled with unspoken tension. I apologize, but nature called, and I had to answer its urgent demand. I nodded, feigning acceptance of her answer. Yet deep within, a storm of certainty raged. I knew she was lying. The entire time she was inside. The sound of the sink running echoed ominously in my ears. She was not in the bathroom for its intended purpose. She was meticulously tending to herself, desperately trying to erase the lingering scent of sweat and the remnants of whatever had transpired with that man she had just been with. After completing our shopping, we made the unexpected choice to pick up some prepared food from the store. Foregoing the usual outing for dinner, though I maintained a serene facade, chaos reigned within me, as my thoughts spiraled, obsessively revisiting every unsettling detail again and again. As we finally settled into the familiar comfort of our home, I leaned in, my voice steady yet laced with an undercurrent of anticipation, and asked, "So, how was your day?" She moved without a moment's pause. "Nothing remarkable," she murmured, her fork pausing midair as she took a bite of her food. The weight of her words hanging heavily in the air. I left for work, but the moment I finished, I rushed straight back home. Homeward bound. Indeed, my grip on the fork became a vice, each prong digging into my palm. With each dishonestful word that slipped from her lips, a fire ignited within me, yet I battled to maintain my calm facade. If I dared to confront her without irrefutable evidence, she would undoubtedly manipulate the situation, turning the truth on its head and leaving me questioning my own sanity. That night, I lay in bed, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, as a storm of thoughts surged through my mind. Sleep eluded me. Meanwhile, she lay unconscious, her breath steady and calm, as if oblivious to the chaos surrounding her. I was astounded by the effortless way she accomplished that. Surprisingly, she exuded an unsettling calm, as if a looming threat of discovery held no power over her. She exuded an unsettling calm, while I was consumed by a restless turmoil, desperately seeking clarity in the chaos. Less than text the following evening, as she busied herself with dinner preparations, a surge of curiosity compelled me to glance at her phone. Silence, a void that stretches endlessly, heavy with unspoken words and unfulfilled desires. There were no texts that raised suspicion, no calls that felt out of the ordinary. I logged onto the internet, my heart racing as I delved into her cell phone and credit card statements. Once more, nothing seems amiss. In that fleeting instant, a surge of relief washed over me, momentarily lifting the weight of the world from my shoulders. Perhaps I had misjudged everything. Perhaps I had allowed my imagination to spiral into the depths of the unknown. Yet, the haunting sensation crept back in, relentless and unyielding. Just because I couldn't uncover any evidence didn't mean she wasn't betraying me. It only revealed her remarkable ability to conceal the truth. At that moment, a restless energy surged within me. I craved undeniable evidence, and I was determined to seize it. I resolved to plunge deeper into the investigation. In retrospect, I realized that my choice was the only path I could take. Yet in that moment, it was excruciating, desperately trying to maintain composure while concealing the turmoil within. Days slipped by, each one blending into the next. As life continued its relentless march forward, I performed my role, wearing a smile when required, pretending to be the devoted husband I had always been. Yet deep within, I was unraveling, observing, anticipating, a heavy sense of inevitability hanging in the air. Then, one fateful afternoon, she reached out to me while I was ensnared in the chaos of work. "Hey, babe," she whispered, her voice laced with an undercurrent of unspoken tension. "I need to inform you that I'll be working late tonight. The monthly close has arrived, and the pressure is mounting as everything feels a bit backed up." I leaned back in my chair, my fingers tightening around my phone, a surge of anticipation coursing through me. "Oh, really? How much longer do you believe it will be?" "I'm uncertain. Perhaps just an hour or two. I'll reach out as soon as I'm on my way home." I struggled to maintain a facade of normalcy. "Very well, that works for me. Be careful not to push yourself too far." We exchanged our final words, and as I ended the call, I found myself frozen, my gaze locked on the phone, the weight of the moment pressing down on me. There was an unsettling quality to her tone that gnawed at me. Sure, she had to work late on occasion, but this time, a heavy weight settled in my chest, a gnawing sense of unease that I couldn't shake off. My instincts were in a frenzy, warning me with an urgency I couldn't ignore. This was not working. This was unlike anything else. Memories flooded my mind as I recalled the moment I had encountered her just a week prior. On that street, I was never meant to encounter her. That was the destination she was headed towards. I had a feeling this would happen. That fateful afternoon, I slipped away from work, my heart racing with anticipation. I drove over there, the clock ticking ominously as I arrived around 4:30, and made a couple of deliberate, slow passes down the street, each moment stretching into an eternity. Silence, a void that echoes with unspoken words. I couldn't find her car anywhere. I tried to remain inconspicuous, so I maneuvered my way to the McDonald's by the main intersection. My gaze fixed intently on the road, every heartbeat echoing the tension in the air. At precisely 4:45, the moment hung in the air, charged with anticipation. There she was, her car gliding toward the light, then executing that unmistakable turn down the street. A scene etched in memory. I sat there, my fingers clenching the steering wheel with a fierce intensity, my knuckles paling under the pressure. I waited, counting each second, allowing her the time to settle into the moment, the air thick with unspoken words. As I drove down the street, my heart raced. There it was, her car, parked with eerie precision in the driveway of a house, shadowed by the imposing presence of a brand new Ram pickup truck. I gazed at the house, my heart racing with an intensity that felt almost unbearable. My hands tightened into fists, a surge of frustration coursing through me. In that fleeting moment, the urge to leap from my car, storm up to that front door, and pound on it until someone finally responded consumed me. To witness the expression etched upon her face, to gaze upon the visage of the man with whom she was betraying me. Yet, I chose not to. A haunting voice within urged me to halt, a chilling instinct that sent shivers down my spine. With a heavy heart, I grasped my phone, capturing haunting images of her car abandoned in that driveway. Before I turned away and walked off into the unknown, I drove home, my heart pounding, the weight of realization crashing down on me. My suspicions had transformed into undeniable truth. The evidence was finally in my grasp. As soon as I stepped through the door, A surge of urgency compelled me to search for the address where I had just spotted her car parked. I had to uncover the truth about this man, no matter the cost. A swift search revealed the homeowner's name, and a knot tightened in my stomach as I absorbed the results. He was far from an inconsequential figure. He was the co-owner of a company that had dealings with hers, making her clandestine encounters far more complicated than mere indiscretion. She found herself entangled in a heated exchange with a customer. As I delved further, the shadows revealed even more secrets lurking beneath the surface. Records reveal a man caught in the twilight of his years, either 49 or 50, who had called that address home since 2009, a place where time seemed to stand still. After a bit more digging, I unearthed the truth. He was divorced, navigating life with 2 college-age children. Absolutely flawless. A middle-aged businessman, driven by desperation, finds himself ensnared in a dangerous game, targeting a married woman who brazenly defies her vows. Later that evening, she returned home, her face alight with joy, clutching bags of takeout from my beloved Chinese restaurant, the place that holds my heart. As if that could possibly divert my attention. "Hey, babe," she said, her voice bright yet laced with an undercurrent of something unspoken. As she approached me, her eyes shimmering with warmth, masking the tension that hung in the air. As she leaned in, anticipation hung thick in the air, but I turned away just enough to offer only a fleeting, half-hearted air kiss, leaving a palpable tension between us. That simply fell short for her. She seized my chin, her lips forming a teasing pout that sent a jolt through me. "Oh, spare me that," she teased. "Show me the genuine article." I almost pulled back in shock. There was absolutely no chance I would ever let my lips come close to hers after the places she had just been. Yet, I compelled myself to obey, delivering a distant gesture of affection to her lips before abruptly retreating. We sat down to eat, and I fought to maintain a facade of normalcy. Each bite I took searing through me like venom. My thoughts spiraled wildly, consumed by the uncertainty of my next move. "I have to head out to a customer location tomorrow," I remarked, my voice steady, but the weight of the moment hung in the air between bites. "I won't return until the evening." Her demeanor shifted in an instant, eyes narrowing with a fierce intensity that hinted at a deeper intrigue. "Oh really? And just where do you think you're headed?" "A few towns away," I murmured, shrouding the truth in mystery. "What time are we meeting?" she asked, her voice betraying a hint of urgency. "At dawn." I mentioned that I likely wouldn't return until much later. I could sense the turmoil of thoughts racing through her mind. She was meticulously piecing together every detail, strategizing her next move with a sense of urgency that hung in the air. She believed she was clever, but I pierced through her facade. Her smile was sweet, yet it held an undercurrent of something deeper, a flicker of unspoken emotions just beneath the surface. "Whatever you do, don't pause to pick up anything on your way back. I'll have dinner waiting for you, just as you like it." With every moment building up to your arrival, the mere thought of that twisted my insides with unease. Shall we dine? After she had spent her day with him? Am I merely a devoted wife, bound to the kitchen? It was utterly revolting, but that dinner was never meant to unfold, for I had something far more intricate and unexpected prepared for her. Naturally, there were no customer visits scheduled for that day. The sole visit I had in mind was to the home of her business associate. If I saw her car in that spot one more time, it would be over for me. The time for waiting has ended, and uncertainty has been cast aside. I would confront her in that very moment, then leave without a word, disappearing into the unknown. Regrettably, or perhaps serendipitously, events unfolded precisely as I had foreseen. I arrived in the afternoon, and there it was, just as I had feared. Her car, a silent witness to the unfolding chaos, stuck in that same damn spot. A haunting reminder of yesterday's choices. My stomach tightened, yet this time, there was no surprise lurking in the shadows, only a confirmation. I moved without a moment's pause. I raced home, heart pounding, secured a hotel reservation, and began hastily packing my clothes. Each item a reminder of the urgency of the moment. Each fold of fabric, each zipper pulling tight on my suitcase, echoed like the finality of a door slamming shut on this marriage. I felt nothing at all. It's finally over, with everything meticulously arranged. I seized my phone and dialed her number, my heart racing with anticipation. To my astonishment, she answered right away, her voice radiating with an unexpected brightness and cheerfulness, as if my call had brought her immense joy. "Hey, love," she sang out, her voice trembling with an unspoken weight. "What's going on?" I tightened my jaw, a surge of feelings brewing within me. "What are you up to?" "Oh, just sitting in a conference room, working on a spreadsheet," she said with a nonchalant air, as if the truth wasn't unraveling right before my eyes. "Indeed, you were disseminating something, but it certainly wasn't mere figures on a spreadsheet." "You're lying," I stated with a chilling calmness. A heavy silence hangs in the air. "What is happening? I can see you, and I know exactly where you are. I know exactly who you're with. And I know precisely what you're up to," I said, my voice steady yet laced with a chilling edge. "You're either betraying him in this very moment, or you've just completed the ultimate act of breach of trust. Just as you did yesterday. Just as you did last week." The stillness hung heavy in the air. She stood there, the weight of the truth hanging in the air, refusing to utter a single word of denial. "I promise you, there wasn't a single refusal. It's truly not what it seems." Silence. A void that echoes with unspoken words and unexpressed feelings. "I've had enough of you." I pressed on, my heart racing with each step. "And I won't be waiting for you when you arrive." Silence lingers, heavy and suffocating. Only an oppressive silence lingered on the other end. I paused, allowing the weight of the moment to settle, then unleashed a torrent of words I had kept bottled up for far too long. Before slamming the phone down, I leaned back, released a heavy breath, and braced myself for what was to come. 20 agonizing minutes ticked by. Suddenly, my phone erupted into a frenzy of buzzing, ringing echoes through the silence. Messages, again and again. She was engulfed in a whirlwind of panic, and I understood all too well the reason behind the agonizing 20-minute delay. The moment I hung up, she spun around, her eyes wide with shock, and whispered to her lover, "Oh my God, my husband knows about us." For the last 20 minutes, she has been in a frantic whirlwind, her mind racing, heart pounding, desperately conjuring excuses, striving to find a way to escape her impending doom. At last, the moment has arrived for her to speak. In the following 24 hours, my phone buzzed incessantly, each vibration sending a jolt through me. She must have bombarded me with 50 desperate voicemails and unleashed over 100 frantic text messages. I should have blocked her. Yet a part of me was drawn to the unfolding drama, eager to witness just how far her desperation would take her. Initially, her messages brimmed with a palpable sense of denial. "It's not what you think it is," I can attempt to explain, as though any words could possibly justify this turmoil. It was impossible to ignore the sight of her car, parked in that driveway not once, but twice. As silence enveloped the moment, she pivoted her approach, a palpable tension hanging in the air. The denial crumbled, giving way to a torrent of tears. "I deeply regret what has happened. Frank, less than text, please. Just talk to me." Then erupted the overwhelming chaos. Endless hours of anguished texts and desperate voicemails. Her cries for forgiveness echoing with raw emotion. Isn't that the way it always unfolds? They move with reckless abandon, cloaked in shadows, but the moment they're exposed, chaos erupts around them, unraveling into a catastrophic spectacle. That night, after checking into the hotel, I found myself drawn to the bar, seeking a moment of solace to dull the sharpness of my thoughts. With my stomach nearly empty, the alcohol surged through me like a storm, dulling the fury that threatened to consume me. Upon returning to my room, I confronted the task that awaited me, the weight of it pressing down like a storm brewing on the horizon. I reached out to our parents and revealed everything, laying bare the truth that had been weighing on my heart. The drinks had loosened my inhibitions, and I found myself unleashing everything that had been pent up inside me. I revealed it all, every revolting detail laid bare. My mom inhaled sharply. "Frank, she absolutely would not." "She did indeed," I interrupted, my voice devoid of any warmth. "She was involved with someone significantly older, a client of her company. And the stakes are higher than anyone realizes." I finally caught her. The stillness hung heavy in the air. Then my dad, the unwavering anchor in our storm, cleared his throat, a sound that hung heavy in the air. "Son, Are you absolutely certain? I released a harsh, bitter laugh that echoed in the silence. Dad. I caught a glimpse of her car parked at his place. Twice. She deceived me with a bold face, all the while nestled in his home. As I faced her, the silence hung heavy in the air. She offered no denial. Only a chilling acceptance of the truth. What more could you possibly require? My mom's voice shattered. I believed you both were content. I lay there, my gaze fixed on the hotel ceiling, a hollow emptiness consuming me. Indeed, I felt the same way. They were filled with dread. Stunned. Just like me. They were convinced we had a flawless marriage. Yet, that was merely a mirage. Wasn't it? In the months that followed, I found myself ensconced in various hotels, grappling with the tumultuous waves of my divorce. I steered clear of any interaction with her. Silence envelops me, a void of unanswered calls and unreceived messages. Only my parents were aware of my whereabouts. I couldn't rely on anyone else to keep it from her. All stood with me, united in their support, save for her dearest companions. Naturally, yet, time and again, my friends and family echoed the same haunting refrain. You must confront her, if only for a moment. Allow her to reveal the truth. Allow her the opportunity to express her remorse to you face to face. Her messages were laced with desperation, and the whispers from our mutual friends painted a picture of turmoil. It was clear she was spiraling, unable to cope with the weight of it all. It came as no shock. She had transitioned from furtive glances and whispered secrets to a state of sheer terror the instant she understood I would not return. Yet, rather than allowing her to confront the fallout of her choices, her friends chose to shift the burden onto me. Initially, it was merely a mounting pressure, a barrage of desperate texts, and drawn-out voicemails from acquaintances I hardly recognized, each echoing the same urgent plea. Just confront her, Frank. She is struggling deeply. She deserves a chance to speak her truth. Then her older sister intervened. And that's when everything spiraled out of control. One fateful evening, my phone rang, and I picked it up, driven by an instinct I couldn't quite grasp. A grave error. Frank, what on earth is the matter with you? Her sister's voice cut through the air, laced with fury. She's unraveling before your eyes. And you remain indifferent? I shut my eyes, a wave of fatigue crashing over me. This is not my burden to bear. She's refusing to eat. She's unable to sleep. Oh, Frank, she truly loved you. She made a mistake, and you're ready to discard everything as if it never mattered at all? I tightened my jaw, a storm brewing within me. It held a significance that could not be ignored. I refused to endure this any longer. She discarded it the moment she slipped beneath the sheets with another. Her sister let out a derisive laugh, a sharp edge to her voice that cut through the air. Are you really going to just turn your back on her? What if something were to happen to her? What if she were to? She paused, a storm brewing in her eyes, then unleashed the words with a fierce intensity. She may have been struggling emotionally. That burden falls squarely on you. That was the moment. That was the moment that changed everything. I inhaled sharply, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on me. Make no mistake, her choices are hers alone to bear, not mine to shoulder. It was her doing, not mine, and if you, or anyone else, dares to manipulate my feelings into reconsidering her, you can erase my number from your mind. In that moment, I severed all ties and cut her off completely. The following day, I discovered that she and her friends had been spreading whispers, painting me as emotionally distant to anyone who would listen. And then arrived the true blow to the core. Her parents betrayed me as well. That one cut deep. Our bond had always been unbreakable. Her father and I would share a few beers, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavily between us. Her mom would often say that I was the son they had always longed for. I believed they cherished me as one of their own. Yet, when the moment arrived, it became painfully clear that blood held more weight than an 8-year union. Her mom called me, her voice strained with unspoken disappointment. Frank, is it really so hard for you to just reach out to her? No, I insisted simply. She let out a heavy sigh, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air. You meant everything to us. Like a son. So, this is it? You're really just going to throw in the towel? A harsh, bitter laugh escaped my lips. Are you really considering surrendering? Don't forget, she's the one who betrayed us. She erred, and the weight of that error hung heavily in the air. Her mother was unwavering in her demand. Individuals grapple with these challenges constantly. Well, I refused to be one of those people. That was the final exchange I shared with them. They chose their path, and I chose mine. In the midst of turmoil, I found solace in the unwavering support of my family and closest friends, who remained steadfast by my side through every challenge. They were the ones who anchored me in reality, affirming that I wasn't losing my mind, that my choices were justified. Despite the relentless attempts from her side to manipulate my emotions, I severed all ties and entrusted my attorney with the entire situation. My wife battled fiercely against the divorce, pleading with me to reconsider, promising me anything I desired to keep our marriage intact. But I had reached my breaking point. As the weight of the moment settled upon her, she understood, with a heavy heart, that no words or actions could sway my resolve. With a resigned breath, she surrendered and signed the papers. In the aftermath, events unfolded with startling speed. Just last month, the finality of the divorce settled in, marking an end to a chapter filled with turmoil. A decisive separation. No ties that bind. I won't act like I was a tough guy throughout it all. 8 years can feel like an eternity when shared with another soul. Countless nights passed in restless turmoil, each moment heavy with a burden that threatened to shatter my very being. Yet, I fought against the odds. And at last, I am liberated. That was meant to be the final chapter. Yet, deep down, she clings to the hope that we might find our way back to each other someday. She insists that we are destined to be together. That destiny will weave our paths once more, just as it did when we first crossed each other's lives. Without a shadow of a doubt, I can assure you that will never come to pass. She continues to reach out to me 3 to 4 times a week, sharing the details of her life, expressing how deeply she misses me, and offering her apologies time and again. I know I should have cut her off by now, but the truth is, there's a twisted satisfaction in listening to her tales of despair. Perhaps it reveals a petty side of me, but after all the turmoil she caused, I believe I deserve a moment of vindication. Regarding her business associate, I find myself at a loss for words at this moment. Let's just say my attorney and his attorney are entangled in a delicate situation. And I'll leave it at that. Complete the missing pieces. Now, listen closely. She confided in me that he was nothing to her, that she severed all ties with him. But do you truly understand what this means? I couldn't care less. It makes no difference whether he was merely a fleeting distraction or the one who held her heart forever. She broke the foundation of our relationship, and there's no way to mend what's been broken. 7 months later, her business associate thrust $200 into my hands, a desperate plea to bury the case once and for all. In the end, I made the choice to take the money. There's no point in prolonging the inevitable when I had triumphed in every way that truly counted. At last, I was liberated from the breach of trust of a dishonestful wife. And to add to the irony, I received compensation for it. Some may label it settlement, but to me, it's a reckoning for the years I've lost. A few weeks ago, an unexpected call pierced through the silence, emanating from an unknown number. I typically ignore those calls, but an unsettling instinct urged me to answer this time. Frank, it's me, Linda. Her mother's voice trembled, laced with doubt and fear. I felt the urge to hang up in that moment, but I held on, my heart racing. The moment her name flashed on my screen, a chill ran down my spine. I understood the weight of her call, the unspoken urgency that hung in the air. She crumpled to the floor at home. They discovered her lying on the floor. Her? She had stopped eating, had stopped sleeping. The doctors have declared it severe depression. They confined her within the walls of a rehab facility. I remained silent. What was I meant to utter? That I was filled with a deep sense of sorrow for her? That I would rush back to rescue her from the chaos she created? Linda's quiet sobs echoed through the line. Frank, I beg you, if you would only reach out to her. Absolutely not. My voice cut through the air with unwavering strength. Frigid. She no longer holds any sway over me. She's gravely ill. Frank. She is desperate for help. She stood there, a figure shrouded in uncertainty, her presence igniting a surge of feelings that crackled in the air. I severed all ties with her. She had to weigh her choices carefully before allowing herself to be vulnerable with another man. I owe her nothing at all. The stillness hung heavy in the air. Then, in a small, trembling voice, she whispered, "She still loves you." A harsh, bitter laugh escaped my lips. She claimed to love me deeply. Yet in the harsh light of day, she betrayed me with another man? Absolutely not. Linda, she cherished the life I provided. The unwavering stability, the enveloping comfort. But what about me? If she truly loved me, she would never have shattered the very foundation of what we created together. "Frank, I beg you, don't ever call me again." And then, I ended the call. In that moment, a chilling realization washed over me: as long as I remained in this city, they would relentlessly pursue me, never letting me escape their grasp. With that money, I acquired a small piece of farmland nestled in the countryside, a sanctuary far removed from the clamor and haunting echoes of the past. I found myself surrounded by a menagerie, chickens clucking nervously, goats bleating with mischief, and a pair of majestic horses, their powerful presence commanding the space around them. I exchanged the relentless pressure of corporate life for the serene embrace of vast fields and the breathtaking beauty of dawn's first light. I walked away from my job, leaving it all behind for good. Gone are the meetings that drained my spirit, the deadlines that loomed like dark clouds, and the encounters with those whose presence I dreaded. Out here, it's only me, the vast expanse of land, and the wild creatures that roam it. As dawn breaks, I rise with the sun, my hands laboring tirelessly, inhaling the crisp, invigorating air that surrounds me. After what feels like an eternity, a flicker of hope ignites within me, not merely in the realm of emotions, but also in the depths of the body and the intricacies of the mind.